Hello, pardon me. Hello, and welcome to Will Henry's Workshop again. I am Will Henry. So, one of the first things I thought I would show is, well, this is a kind of a multifaceted job that I recently completed, and it consisted of duplicating a barrel and threading and fitting and chambering a new barrel, and also setting back the original barrel and rechambering it. And the complicating factor was that I don't have the action here. I only had the old barrel, and so I'm just duplicating that. So in order to do that, I duplicated the threads and the thread pitch, and but the one question that people sometimes have is this particular barrel. I'll show you here. This particular barrel has a coned breech, and so I had to also duplicate the distance for that cone, the depth, from the shoulder of the barrel. Now, in order to do that, just like you would do with any angled surface like this, you measure to a datum line, and a datum line is a line of a given diameter that fits within that cone. So in this case, I set an arbitrary figure of 11/16 of an inch, 0.6875, as my datum line, and so to measure that, I made a sleeve that just slides over the threads. And another thing I've noticed that I do wrong is, because I'm old, I wear bifocals, so now and then I tilt my head back so I can see, and I'm trying to get over that. But anyway, so I made a sleeve that just slides over the tenon, and inside the sleeve there's a gauge, the end of which is turned to 0.68750, and it slips inside this sleeve. Now the sleeve is exactly 2 inches long, and the plug is exactly 1 inch long. So in use, I can slide that sleeve down over the threaded tenon. I'll move you up just a little bit, and see if I can't get a little better look. Okay, there, I can slide that sleeve down over the threaded tenon, and then I push that plug down and seat it against the cone. Now, having done that, I can then take a depth micrometer, which I should have had out on the bench to start with. Lord knows I got plenty of stuff on the bench, no reason not to include this. But anyway, I take the depth micrometer, and I can just measure the distance down to the back of that plug, and in this case it's 14 thousandths of an inch. So when I cut the cone in the new barrel and on the barrel when I set it back, I just have to achieve that same measurement, 14 thousandths of an inch down, to make sure the cone's the same. Now if I want to know the distance from the shoulder to that point on the cone, it's easy, because I know it's just 14 thousandths of an inch less than an inch. So 0.986 is the distance from the shoulder to an 11/16 datum. So that's how that's done. And as far as the angle is just, you can measure that just simply with a protractor, and then you just, there again, just duplicate the angle, and Bob's your uncle. So that's all there is to that. The only other concern, of course, is head space, and in this particular case, this barrel was chambered for the 6mm dasher, and the customer supplied the reamer for it, but he did not have a headspace gauge, nor did I. So I made a gauge, and to make the gauge, the 6-dasher is measured to a datum of 0.3750. So I just made a gauge with an extension that's exactly 3/8 of an inch, and it's sharp edged, and the length is I believe it's 1.2469 or 24, something like that. Anyway, so I made it to the precise length of the minimum chamber depth to the datum, and then I could just put that gauge in, and again I use the 2-inch sleeve to measure down to the gauge, and then I can determine how far from the shoulder that gauge is. And so that's that, and the chambering and everything was is straightforward enough, and I'll be showing you more of that later. There's a few little techniques that I use that help me to get a nice, smooth, clean chamber, and so I'll do that. Now, the other thing, when you're either duplicating a barrel or setting back, and don't have the action, you want to be able to stamp the caliber markings and so on so that they register the same. So in order to do that, I just make a little threaded sleeve, which takes all of 5 minutes, and I can screw that onto the tenon and screw it on tight, and then I mark in line with the barrel markings on the original barrel, and then when I do the new barrel or when I do the setback, I just screw this sleeve back on, and that mark lines up with where I have to stamp to have those things register. And so that's that. That's a quick and easy explanation of just how that's done. And thanks for watching, and next time around you'll get to see a little more. Bye now. I said goodbye just a little too soon. With this, some of the videos I'd made were with another camera, and it was really bad, so I bought a new one, and with it I got this handy dandy remote. And the thing is with a remote, what I mostly seem to do with them is misplace them. So here I said goodbye, and then I have to start looking for the darn thing because I didn't have sense enough to keep it in my pocket or someplace handy. But anyway, here it is now. So goodbye.